This isn't some fringe theory or online speculation, it's a troubling analysis of a case that has twisted from tragic to troubling to something far more disturbing. We're not dealing with conspiracy. We're dealing with inconsistencies, omissions, and behaviors that simply don't line up with what we expect from innocent people, or responsible investigators. Before we even get into suspects, timelines, or motives, let's start with something no one seems to want to acknowledge. The night before Jack and Lilly Sullivan were reported missing, something unusual happened on that rural property outside Lansdowne Station. Locals noticed several unfamiliar vehicles parked near the home. That's not criminal in itself. Friends visit. People host guests. But in a remote location, the sudden presence of outsiders, and the timing, should raise questions. Those vehicles may have been overlooked at first. But when two children vanished the next morning without any confirmed sighting, security footage, or verified timeline, that detail becomes more than a side note. It becomes a potential pivot point in the case. RCMP has never confirmed if a gathering occurred that night. Why not? If there was alcohol, drug use, or even casual overnight guests, that changes the credibility of everyone inside that house. And if the party was real, why hasn't a guest list ever been made public? Who was there? And more importantly, who might authorities be protecting? Now here's where things begin to shift from suspicious to surreal. What if Jack and Lilly didn't go missing the next morning at all? What if, whatever happened to them, happened the night before, while the house was full of activity, distraction, and people who had something to hide? Let's talk about the only public post their mother, Maleha Brooks Murray, made, less than 24 hours into the investigation. She wrote, "They'll go with anyone. They're not afraid of strangers. I want an Amber Alert." On the surface, it reads like a mother begging for help. But look again. There's no fear. No confusion. No pleading. Just a statement of certainty, one that feels less like worry, and more like narrative control.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home.
RCMP say there is still no sign of two siblings who are believed to have wandered away from their home in Pictou County. They were last seen around 10 a.m. on Friday in the community of Lansdowne Station. RCMP say the search is ongoing and multiple agencies are now involved.
At that point in the case, there was no evidence of an abduction. No eyewitnesses. No suspicious vehicles. No ransom demands. Yet she framed it as if they'd already been taken, and she already accepted that outcome. Where does that certainty come from? Parents don't assume the worst that quickly, unless they already know something the rest of us don't. This case isn't just marked by what's been said, it's defined by what hasn't. There were 4 adults in the house that night: Maleha, her partner Daniel, Daniel's mother Belinda, and their friend Justin. And yet, when asked about the last time they saw the children, their stories diverge wildly. Some say they heard the kids at 10 a.m., others say it was closer to 8:30. None of them can describe the last clear moment they saw Lilly or Jack. And then there's the delay. The 911 call wasn't placed until after 10 a.m., nearly half a day after the last possible sighting. There was no early morning panic. No flashlight searches. No phone calls to neighbors. Just silence. Parents don't react that way, not unless they're trying to control when the panic starts. Even more baffling, the home wasn't thoroughly searched until nearly 3 weeks later. Not the crawlspaces. Not the septic tank. Not the outbuildings. Those are basic search areas in any disappearance. And yet RCMP allowed days, even weeks, to pass, time that allowed any possible physical evidence to disappear. Now, think about this: if the kids truly wandered off in the woods, why did the family dog, normally reactive, not bark? Why was there no overturned furniture, no struggle, no shoes or toys left behind? Not a single footprint. Not one credible witness. And no security camera, not even dashcam footage, has placed them anywhere past that property line. We need to stop asking, where did the kids go, and start asking, why were people so ready for them to be gone? Every step of this case, the strange social media post, the inconsistent witness statements, the unexplained silence, and the investigative gaps, points away from accident, and closer to orchestration. What if this wasn't a crime of opportunity, but a planned removal? A decision? A transaction? That would explain the lack of urgency. The lack of grief. The oddly composed statements. And the clean, quiet scene that has yielded no answers. This isn't just a story of two missing children anymore. It's a case about time. Who had it? Who used it? And who needed it, to clean, to coordinate, or to cover something up? And if that's true, if even part of that is true, then the RCMP didn't just mishandle a case. They gave someone exactly what they needed: silence, time, and distance. And now we're left not just asking where Lilly and Jack went, but who knew they'd be gone before sunrise. This isn't some fringe theory or online speculation, it's a troubling analysis of a case that has twisted from tragic to troubling to something far more disturbing. We're not dealing with conspiracy. We're dealing with inconsistencies, omissions, and behaviors that simply don't line up with what we expect from innocent people, or responsible investigators. Before we even get into suspects, timelines, or motives, let's start with something no one seems to want to acknowledge. The night before Jack and Lilly Sullivan were reported missing, something unusual happened on that rural property outside Lansdowne Station. Locals noticed several unfamiliar vehicles parked near the home. That's not criminal in itself. Friends visit. People host guests. But in a remote location, the sudden presence of outsiders, and the timing, should raise questions.